Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. We are continuing with the Clone Wars Plo Koon build. This week we're looking at Jedi robes. So when it came to the robes for this build, I knew it would be pretty tricky for me. I'm very good at doing hard parts. I can finish armor parts and things like that, but I don't really have any experience doing sewing. About the only experience I have is sewing on patches to my patch jacket. But when it came to this costume, I knew I'd probably need help to do it. Now, with things like this, you can mod things that are already available, and you could certainly look and see what's available on the market. There are a few places that sell Jedi-like robes and items, and I'm sure if you were on a budget, you could mod them to what you need. I started with this project being kind of like a budget project, but it ended up being not. What I actually did was end up reaching out and seeing if I could get this costume commissioned. There are a few groups on Facebook. There's one that I have in particular, which I'll leave in the link below, which is UK cosplayers, and you can reach out there saying what project you want to do. This is the costume I want to make. Can anyone help me with these items? Now, I believe there are armor makers and clothes makers and all sorts of things on there, but of course I just needed someone who could help me with the soft parts, the fabric. So I reached out and got a few replies. Thank you to everyone who replied, but I ended up choosing Zelvyne Cosplay. She was my collaborator on this project. She had done some Jedi robes before and could show me examples of that in pictures, which is good because I can kind of gauge how it's going to look based on their previous work. So we began chatting and I started sending her images of reference that I'd collected. This is an important part of the process. I'd collected reference and drawn up the kind of idea that I wanted. You can see how I did that here. Once I'd finalised everything that I wanted, including how I wanted it to look, what I wanted it to be made out of, and of course the size that it had to be, I had to give accurate measurements of myself. She was able to give me a price. When it comes to things like this, it's always good to be as accurate as you can, be precise in what you want. If you have a budget, tell them what it is, and just be sure what you want before contacting people so you don't waste anyone's time. For this costume, we decided on lovely linens to have it made out of. There are actually quite a few layers to this costume, and I'll show you those very shortly. This was all decided beforehand, and once I gave the green light on the price, it was a go. Zelvyne was great during the whole process. She kept me updated with pictures. I knew it was going to be a few months because she was quite busy, but when the time came for my costume to be made, she kept me very updated in what was going on, and yeah, I couldn't be happier with the communication that happened there. Now, I'll show you what we came up with. So as part of the costume, I had found this red undershirt. It's a very nice skin-tight red undershirt with some nice ribbing texture. It's always good to have textures in your cosplays just to bring it to life so it doesn't look so flat. First goes on the dicky, which is made of a really soft cotton. This comes down the front and falls down the back and does up at the back with a piece of Velcro. It's nice and simple for me to get on and off, as I don't really want to be fiddling behind my neck too much with different types of closure. Over this goes the first of the wrap. This is a kimono type wrap. It kind of goes across my front and does up on the left hand side. It has these little wings on the shoulders which just match the reference. Over that goes the first of my robe pieces. This one's actually a little thinner and fills in the gaps from the top one, which I'll show you in a minute. But we actually decided to have the wings on this one and actually have the hood attached to this piece as well. This kind of means that the hood and everything can kind of sit more freely. But this piece really acts as kind of a filler so we can get that kind of tacit look that he has down by the legs without being too heavy or clunky, and it kind of moves really well doing it like this. The biggest part is the overcoat. This I wanted to be slightly padded. I used reference from Kylo Ren as kind of my inspiration. I didn't want it to look really flat, and in the show it kind of looks like it has a little bit of volume to it. So it was lightly padded to give that look. And this is also a part that has an actual closure on it. There's a small zip on the front that just does up. And that's it. That's all the custom pieces we needed for this. The outer jackets are made of a lovely brown linen. These have a great texture and feel to them. And the inner parts are just cotton, which make it light and breathable. Having said that, because there are so many layers, this is quite a hot costume, and when I have it all on, including the hands and the mask, I'm completely sealed in, and with the hands and mask being latex, I get pretty sweaty in there. So wearing the costume is comfortable but hot and non-trivial in that way. So there it is, guys, a quick look at my Jedi robes for Clone Wars Plo Koon. Thank you to Zelvyne for being a great collaborator on this part of the project. I couldn't be happier with the work that I received. I have a couple more bits for you, which are two of the more exciting bits for this project, which are the mask, which was very fun to do, and the boots. The boots I'm very proud of, as they're kind of made from scratch, and I'll show you how I did those in a later video. Stay tuned for those videos in the future, and of course I look forward to seeing you there. Until then, take care. Bye bye.